So today I'm going to do a whole freeze dryer load full of my pudding, and I'm going to show you how to reconstitute this into a nice pudding after it's freeze dried. We're going to use 8 boxes of the 3.5 ounce boxes and a gallon of milk to make all this. Now what I'm going to do is going to make this one tray at a time, which is 2 boxes at a time. Okay, we're going to do take 2 on the mixing part because I didn't realize it. I forgot to put my light on. Everybody knows how to mix Jell-O instant pudding, but that's part of the video. So we got 2 packs of chocolate. You can use whatever flavor you like, but Walmart had slim pickings, and the only thing I could get 8 boxes of, and I wanted to do one flavor, was chocolate. I really was wanting to do butterscotch, but I like chocolate too. I like chocolate a lot, but I thought butterscotch would make a change. They didn't have 1 box of butterscotch, let alone 8. Alright, so there's 2 boxes, 3.5 ounces of chocolate pudding. To that we are going to add 4 cups of milk. There's 2. And there's 4. We're going to whisk that for 2 minutes, as the box says. Okay. Now, for our reconstitution purposes, I want to get the weight of 1/2 cup, because each box makes 4 1/2 cup servings, so we'll end up with 8 1/2 cup servings per tray. So what we'll do is we'll get the weight of it, 1/2 cup fresh, so to speak. Which is 125 grams. And we'll just keep a note of that, so when we freeze dry this, we'll weigh the powder from 1 tray, divide that by 8, and that'll give us how much powder it takes to make a 1/2 cup. Hopefully that makes sense. It does to me, so we're there. Alright, so let's get this trayed up. Now I line my trays with a silicone liner. I would recommend you use silicone or parchment paper and line your trays for this, because with the sugar it might want to stick, and that'll make it really easy to get out of the tray. Alright, let's get this leveled up. Alright, that's pretty level. We'll get that in the freezer, freezing solid. I got 2 more trays to do because of my mess up with the light, so I'll do those other 2 off camera. We'll get them all frozen solid and into the freeze dryer. Next time you see it, they'll be coming out of the freeze dryer. Okay, there you have it. 4 trays of chocolate pudding freeze dried, and that took about 38 hours in my freeze dryer. So all I'm going to do now is we're going to establish the weight of 1/2 cup of powdered freeze dried pudding. So what we're going to do is take 1 tray, put it in my Ziploc bag. We'll get everything in there. And let's powderize it. Okay, so we got that all powderized. Alright, now we got the tear of the bag. So now we put this on there. Make sure we're not off the edges there. 350 grams. We take 350 divided by 8. So 1/2 cup serving is 43 grams of powder. 43.75. Now I got my 1/2 cup measuring cup here. Tear that. And we'll start off with a tablespoon because that was going too slow anyway. 0. There's 1 tablespoon. 2 tablespoons. 3 tablespoons. 4 tablespoons. 5 tablespoons. 6 tablespoons. 7 tablespoons. Say 8 tablespoons. Or it looks like 1/2 cup of powder. Okay, so now we know for a 1/2 cup of pudding we need a 1/2 cup of powder. Memory plus that. Now we go 125 minus 43 equals, we need 82 grams of water. 82 grams of water in there. There's 85. So that's almost a 1/2 cup. So you could basically, as a rough guesstimate, say 1/2 and 1/2, 1 to 1. But let's see how that turns out. Okay. I'm just going to add what would have made this a whole one. It was about, I don't know, a quarter of an inch from full, because this is pretty thick. So that would have been 1-to-1, roughly what I got here. And that is going to make it much. Okay, so I have stirred that for about a minute. We got 1-to-1 powder and pudding. It came out like that. So let's do a little taste test. Obviously it tastes very good, but we're looking for instant in my preps. I always look for an instant satisfaction. So anything less than instant, I let you know. And by reconstituting this to that nice consistency, there are very fine crumbles in there, for want of a better word. I mean, it's not lumpy, but there are very fine crystals in there that you can taste. That haven't rehydrated. What I'm going to do, I'm going to set this off to the side, and I'm going to package these, and then we'll come back and look at this. Okay, so that took me about 10 minutes to get those all. It took me about 10 minutes to get those all rolled out. And this one's a little bit lower because we took a half-cup serving out of that one. But we would have ended up with 2 half-gallons of pudding that we just need to scoop out what we want and add the equal amount of water to reconstitute. So you want a large portion or a small portion. You just dip into this and get that. That's a fantastic idea. Very convenient. So what I'll do is off camera, I'm going to put a 300cc O2 absorber in each one of these. Then I'll vacuum seal the lids and write on there the date, chocolate pudding, and reconstitute 1-to-1. 1 part water, 1 part powder. Now obviously we could have done this differently. I used the Ziploc bags, number one, for 2 reasons. One, the most important, when I'm rolling it out, if there's any moisture in the bag, in the product, I will see that in the Ziploc bag. Number 2, if I used a Vitamix, which I don't have, but I do have a blender. So if I used a blender and blended this up, then I'd have to clean up the blender, whereas with the Ziploc bags, I just throw them away after I'm done with them. Now I did go through a couple because they got holes poked from the chunks while I was rolling them, but it's still worth it not having to clean the blender up. To me. To you, you might get a better product by powderizing it in your blender, but bear in mind your powder might be finer, so you'll have to work out what your ratio would be to reconstitute. You'd use the same method I did, but you'd have to refigure out what your reconstitution ratio is. But with the rolling pin, my Ziploc bag, 1 tray is 4 cups of prepared pudding, or 8 half-cup servings. So each half gallon jar would be 16 half-cup servings. So there's 32 minus 1 that I've already used, so 31 half-cup servings of freeze-dried instant pudding, ready to go. Just add water. Now let's look and see what happened to this pudding while that 10 minutes was going on. The temptation was to eat all this before I packaged it, but I wanted to see if, just by adding that little bit of time, if those crystals in the pudding had gone away. And yes, they have. That is just like fresh pudding. That's so good. So if you were making this ahead of time, like for dessert, reconstitute it before you start eating your dinner. And by the time dinner's ready, you finish eating your dinner and you're ready for your dessert, this is perfect. There you go. Another great one from John and Bibbs. How to reconstitute freeze-dried instant pudding. Perfect. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next time.